Now, Linda, it's such a pleasure to speak with you because your son, Chris, who passed away in 1980, the
Yes,
Make-A-Wish Foundation was born, right?
correct. He was our inspiration for starting Make-A-Wish. And just the excitement, the joy that we felt that day, Chris and I both, it was like, yes, other people need to have this. I had spent 3 years going through the hospitals and the doctors with Christopher, and I saw all these kids. I talked to the moms and the dads, and just to be able to give them back what Chris and I felt was like a gift from heaven. It really was. So that's how Make a Wish was born.
You know, it truly is a gift from heaven, isn't it?
It is. It truly is. It's out of the blue. People you don't know come in and want to help you and asking nothing in return. They just want to make a little boy happy or a
Right.
little girl happy. You just think of angels. You think of all the good things in the world and the good people in the world that have the power to do this. It just took caring and giving of themselves.
It is amazing. Yeah, it is a gift from heaven, and the Make-A-Wish people, and I would even go as far to say the donors are angels.
Yes,
In
they
this,
are.
how old was Chris when he, received his wish?
Chris was basically 7.5 years old
Hmm.
and just turning from that little boy stage into the big boy stage, kind of. The last 3 months of his life was the bloody noses and the transfusions weekly.
Hmm.
But that day, when he had his wish and the police officers were around, he stood tall, he stood proud, the nose didn't bleed. He was like a little boy I hadn't seen for a long time.
Wow.
And just something took over him. He was so proud, so happy. It was his first day on the job. And Christopher, his entire life, he was a little police officer. That was his job, that was his fight in life. And I'll tell you a little story. When the guys had given him the uniform and the hat and the helmet, and his father had purchased a little battery powered motorcycle to take the place of his wheelchair, give him more mobility. He was still all dressed up in his little uniform, and he went up the street, a couple houses, to visit his little girlfriend, Dawn. And he took off his helmet, put it under his arm, and rang the doorbell. And she answered the door, and he said, "See, I told you I was a cop there."
Wow.
And so it just was amazing. He was so proud, so happy. And when Make a Wish, when we started developing this idea, I thought, yes, oh my God, to be able to give to someone else what
Yeah.
Chris and I felt, it was truly a gift from heaven.
If you can, take me back to that day when either you or Chris, did Chris say, I have this wish to become a cop? I mean,
Well, no, actually, what happened, during our course of 3 years, by the grace of God, police officers were put into our path for a good reason. And one of those officers was a US Customs agent, Tom Alston. And after a few months, his wife and I became good friends, and the children became good friends. And they noticed, why is Chris losing his hair? And I finally spilled the beans that he has leukemia, and the doctors have given me 3 years for him to live.
mm,
So Tommy made him a promise. He says, one of these days, when time is right, we're going to get you a ride in a real police helicopter. And Chris was like, whoa, yes. So I made a phone call one evening. It was about 2 weeks before Chris's passing. And I said, Tommy, if there's any way to call in that promise, now is the time. And he just took it from there, called his buddies. The phone lines were going like crazy. And I would say within a week, the Department of Public Safety of Arizona had arranged for patrol cars, for helicopter rides, for a motorcycle to meet the helicopter,
Mhm.
and just the grand tour of the whole department. And that was the beginning.
That amazing story, Linda. Visiting with Linda Pauling, whose son Chris, who passed away in 1980. It was the beginning of Make-A-Wish Foundation. And thank God for
Yes.
you people. When you think back on how this impacted so many lives and everything, and over the years, over the last 40 years, how that moment in time, how it has impacted so many people in a positive way, how does that make you feel?
Very proud, very happy, and very joyful that there's so many other mothers, fathers, children out there that had a wish come true. And that just, yes, I
Yeah,
just want to give a high five to everybody and just, I love you. I really do. All of you,
yeah,
the
we all,
volunteers, the staff, everybody that helps, you know.
when the last 20 years we've been doing the Make-A-Wish Radiothon here with the Results Radio. And the way I've presented it on the air is like two things, actually. The Make-A-Wish Foundation, it's a pretty simple concept. They're just giving these kids a break from all the stuff they have to do to just be a kid,
Exactly.
you know, for whatever length of time that is, whether it's a day, a week, or whatever. You know, they grant them this wish so they can just be a kid and have some fun in their
Yeah.
life. And then also, I really believe, Linda, that these wishes, it's more than a wish. It affects the children's psyche in some way, to where they want to get stronger, they want to get better.
Yes, they do. I've heard many stories, but the one that I guess I love the best was a little boy in Globe, Arizona, and he wanted to go to the Super Bowl 2 weeks before the game.
Mhm.
That was a tough one, but pulled
Yeah.
it off. And it was probably 25, 30 years later that this young man, grown up, walked up to me at the wishbone and said, "I bet you don't remember me." And he started talking. He said his name was John Paul, and I just hugged him. He said, "You know, that wish meant so much to me. I stopped believing that I was going to die, and I started to believe that I was going to live
Yeah.
because I wanted to do it again." And
Yes.
he introduced me to his 12-year-old son.
Wow. That's what I mean. You know, it
Yeah.
just really does something up here.
It does. It truly does.
And not only for the child, but for the families as well. You know,
Yes,
let's not forget about the families who are dealing with this as the children are.
exactly, because they're going through it and other siblings in the family are going through it.
Right.
A wish is for the entire family, and it creates such memories and laughters that are shared for years to come.
And as we know, as with everything, the cost of these wishes, you know, goes up every year.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
that's
yes.
why we have this radiothon every year for the past 20 years to raise money so we can make these wishes come true. You know, and it's for Northern California, what we're doing with the, you know, Results Radio.
The money raised in your area stays right there for the kids in your area.
That's very important to remember. And to donate that money, very, very simple. You just log on to readingwish.com, readingwish.com, and you can make a donation
Exactly.
right there.
And it's all so greatly appreciated. We have children just waiting for their wish to come true.
Yes.
And I'd like to say, you know what? We're grown adults. We've conquered what wishes we wanted to conquer, but these little ones may not be able to do that. So that's where, let's help. Let's do it. When we started this organization, there was 5 to 7 of us with $37.76.
Wow.
And again, by the grace of God, it has grown to look what it is today. And, I know times are tough, but
Yeah.
$37.76, if you can afford that, please do that.
$37.76.
Correct. We opened a bank account for Make-A-Wish, and we started to raise money to add to it. And the newspapers, the media, as yourselves, were very kind to us and said, hey, this is what these people are trying to do. And
Wow.
more people came in and said, I know how to help you. Let me help. And so it's based on volunteerism. I myself am a volunteer for 40 years. I've never been paid. I probably put more money into it than,
Right.
but that's what Make-A-Wish is. It's the love of kids and the love of wanting to help.
Well, let's remember that number. Go to readingwish.com, and if you can, donate $37.76, huh?
Correct. You betcha. In the
All
name
right.
of Chris. You got it.
In the name of Chris. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for this time. God bless you, and all the people of the Make-A-Wish Foundation too. And let's keep on doing it. All right.
All right. You got it. Yes. Let's keep
Okay.
it up.